Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
So thanks for sitting down to talk today. And I guess, so first things first, let's talk a little bit about you, your background, and then a little intro for Bombas too.
So I'm Lauren DiGregoria. I'm the Director of Acquisition here at Bombas. I actually came from the agency side, so I started my career at a larger agency, but in the direct marketing department. So everything that we did was tied in data and analytics, which really helped set me up for my role here. And what's really great about my start is that I started to shift into supporting a lot of D2C brands in my later tenure at the agency, which really set me up for success when I started at Bombas. And I started at Bombas probably, I think it was June of 2019, so just around a year ago. And I got reached out to, and I was super excited because I already knew about the company. I had the socks, and I just loved everything that I knew about their mission. And the more research that I did about Bombas and about the company, the more I fell in love with the brand and the more I knew I had to work there. So the company itself was founded because socks are the #1 most requested item in homeless shelters. And everything that we do is focused around our mission. So we have, if you can believe it, our own giving team, and our giving team is centered around just what it sounds like, giving. So they partner with about over 3,000 homeless shelters and community and giving organizations. And the other thing that I loved when I was doing research about the company is that the socks themselves, so the donation socks, are different from what you're buying. Basically, there's a lot that go into the donation socks, but they're meant for the recipients. So there's like an antimicrobial treatment that's meant for stopping bacteria growth. So basically, everything that they do is really centered around this philanthropic aspect of the company, which is great.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, it's like, I feel like everybody knows that Bombas is doing this amazing work, and I could only imagine it's very cool to be on the team helping do that work. And it's so important, and it's a product that people love. And so I think it's definitely, there's like a responsibility being on the team, but there's also such a rewarding aspect. And I can only imagine that that's just like incredible to work on.
Definitely. And the people and the culture, just everything that you read in here is all true. Everyone is so nice and supportive. So it's just a great company to work for.
I love that. That's awesome. And 2020 has been insane. And I would love to just sort of hear what strategies has your team kind of ran with in light of this, and then which have you guys kind of had to scale back on?
Sure. So yeah, we really had to pivot because of everything going on stemming from COVID-19. We certainly had to shift our product strategy. So from a product standpoint, rather than focusing on some of the more traditional seasonal products like no-shows, which you wear to hide your socks when you're wearing shoes, or things like men's dress socks, we pivoted to focus on some of the product offerings that our customers could benefit from while staying cozy at home and social distancing. So making sure that those products were at the forefront. Some examples are just like our general ankle socks, but then we also shifted to some of our performance offerings so that people who are working out at home would have a sock product to be able to work out while quarantining. And so that was kind of a pivot from what we had initially been planning at the onset of 2020. And then obviously there was a real shift from a messaging standpoint. We really wanted to make sure that our customers knew not only what Bombas was doing to help our community, but more importantly, we wanted to let people know, our customers in our community, what they could do to help. So we did do a bunch of messaging and pivoting around what we were putting up on our homepage, and a lot of that mission and information giving aspect was pushed through social.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I mean, it all makes sense. And it's like, it just, it really kind of goes to show like the flexibility, and these times have just called for like really quick thinking and really being able to adapt on your feet. And I mean, it sounds like you guys have done a great job. And I know one thing that happened during all this was your Pride campaign, which Taboola was able to work with you guys on to amplify. So can you kind of share more about both that campaign and then how Taboola played in?
Sure. So this was the second year that we launched a Pride campaign, and it was not only about providing love, compassion, and comfort for our customers, both paid and non-paid, but also bringing attention to the disproportionate number of LGBTQ plus community members who are facing homelessness. And so really, when I talk about Bombas and the mission, this was no different. So everything tied back to the mission. Every pair of Pride socks that were purchased, a pair of socks was donated to support an LGBTQ plus community member through our partnership with the Ally Coalition. And that partnership is year round. So we were so excited to be able to continue that partnership. It was something that we did last year as well for our first campaign. But what was a little bit different about this campaign is that the sock offerings were more robust, and really we wanted to make our socks really bright and colorful to embody this idea of being your true self and living your truth and just, being excited to be you. And what you'll see is if you look at the socks that we had for Pride this year, they represented the bisexual and transgender flags. And so we were super excited to be able to have that offering. And it was totally new this year and a first for Bombas.
That's amazing. And I mean, we were so excited to be part of that in any way. And it was just like a very awesome experience, and getting to know the Bombas team too. Like, it was clear, we could feel that good synergy of like, this is an awesome team, and you guys really care about what you're doing. And I think I know that's really important for us in partnerships too. And I guess sort of seeing those parallels between our teams. I know you guys have shifted to working from home, as so many people have, including us. And I guess I'd love to just hear more about how that adjustment has been. Like, what do you guys do to stay connected? And how are you both, working together, but also just staying together, connected as people?
Bombas as a whole has done a really good job just as a company to make sure that we're all connected and really making sure it's still a positive and fun environment. So we have occasionally company game nights where we can all play code names. We had our own Zoom Pride parade, for example. And then just some other things. We do company-wide all hands. We typically had done all hands less frequently when we were all in the office, but now we've shifted to a longer all hands 1 week, and then the next week is a shorter, more condensed all hands. But it's basically making sure that everyone's getting together. We're hearing about the cool and fun things that our team members are doing at home and also for work. And then what's also been great is that our giving team and just other members of the community have been having guest speakers come in to talk to us about just what's been going on with current events. Some of our giving partners have come in to chat with us about what's been going on with our partnerships or what they've been doing throughout, all of 2020, and what they're planning to do beyond to help their community locally, and how we have been able to help contribute to some of those efforts. So it's been great. But from a team standpoint, I would say we have team game nights, just team happy hours. And then from a one-on-one standpoint, we typically make sure on my team, I like to chat with everyone one-on-one at least once a week, twice a week if there's something crazy that's going on, but just making sure that everyone feels supported and that we're all able to chat with each other, not just about work things, but about personal stuff too. Because I think that connection when you're not with people all the time and in quarantine is so important to have, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's awesome to hear that. And it's always kind of fun to hear what other teams and people are doing, because it's hard to find ways to stay engaged and connected when you're not together. So that's awesome. And it kind of gives me ideas. We should do a game night too. That's such a fun thing. I think it's also obviously important to laugh and kind of find those little ways to stay, happy and connected and together. And so that's awesome, which kind of leads me into doing some more fun, just short, quick questions just to, kind of learn more about you.
Sure.
Okay, so where is the coolest place that working for Bombas has ever taken you? And it can be local in New York, or it could be far away.
I feel like everyone will say this, but the exec team surprised us all with tickets to Hamilton earlier this year. And so basically the entire company went, we saw Hamilton, and then we had a Q&A with the cast after. So that was probably one of the cooler things that we've done, and it was a surprise. So we were informed the day of where we were going, and we're just told, clear your schedules for tomorrow. We've got a company event to participate in, which was crazy that they could keep it a secret.
That's quite the company event. That's like not your average company event. My God. That's amazing. Also, so this shifting gears. So I think procrastination has sort of become like something everyone's dealing with working at home. So what's your go-to procrastination method?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. No, I'm just kidding. In quarantine, I think a couple things. So one, I have found that working out is super important. So usually in the morning, I make sure to start the day. Not that it's procrastinating, but just something to like keep me in a good headspace throughout the day while working. But I actually am getting married in 2021. So a lot of the procrastination has just been filtered into like wedding planning and all of the things that go with that, which has been great, but also a little strange because it's not exactly how I imagined it to be, given we're all in quarantine. But it's been good. Everyone's been great. So that's been a really good distraction.
Yeah, that'll do it. It's like productive procrastination. Like it's not, it kind of like, that's the best kind of procrastination. You're getting something else done, but you're like, that's perfect. And okay, what about cooking? Literally everyone's been cooking more and making things. So what's like your quarantine staple?
This is gonna sound super lame, but my fiance and I have gotten really into making smoothies. And it's super easy for breakfast or lunch, but we also are finding like when we have to get rid of fruit and vegetables in the fridge and not wanting to waste stuff, it's been a good way to just like throw it all in a blender and then have like a really quick meal. So I'm a little bit lazy, and so that's been great. Or if I've cut like my timeline too close before a meeting, that's also been awesome. But grilling has been great, because we don't have a grill in the city. So whenever we get out and have the chance, that's probably our favorite thing.
Grilling and smoothies are great. And I'm gonna make you share a smoothie recipe, but grilling and smoothies are great and healthy. But now let's talk about a late night snack. Everybody's gotta have something, like when you're watching a movie, like what I don't think you're having smoothies then, but what's the go-to later?
I think probably like what's been most recent has been popcorn, but my fiance makes like whirly popcorn, so not from a microwave. He actually hand makes it and then does his own seasonings, which like I've never had before, but is so great. So that's been like, if we're gonna binge watch some Netflix or like sit down and do something mindless, like a puzzle or something, that's usually our go-to.
That sounds good too. Those are some solid, like that's some solid quarantine kitchen, like a nice mix of everything, like nice and homemade. That's, all right, now I'm also inspired from that. We're trying to make some gourmet popcorn later. And then what's the most underrated part of your work at home setup that you like recommend everybody else do?
I think until now, it's probably been headphones, and it's because we're in a studio apartment. So when two people are working from home, it is so distracting to not have headphones in and try to concentrate on what you're doing. So both of us being able to use headphones to just listen in on Zoom calls or be on separate ends of the apartment and be present for whatever it is we're doing for work has been really helpful. I had a problem like connecting my headphones at first, and that was a disaster. So I'm super glad that that's working now.
Yeah, headphones are key, right? Where no one's used to their home space being their office space and also sharing it with whoever you're sharing it with. Unless you're alone, headphones are imperative to functioning.
Totally.
Okay, and then we'll end it on sort of a heartstring one. So what's just one thing that you would tell your younger self who is just getting started in the industry, didn't know anything yet that you know now? What would you tell her?
I probably would tell her to find a good mentor. I think I was so fortunate to have found some really great mentors early on in my career, and those people who I partnered with gave me some really great opportunities for growth and put a lot of faith in me, letting me work upwards above what my like technical title was. And I think those opportunities are so imperative and career defining for you, to get you out of your comfort zone, and even leverage those mentors for like their own expertise and guidance. And I really don't think that I would be where I am today without those people. And so for anyone just starting out in their career, if they can find someone within their office or outside their office, I think it's really, really important. And just leverage those people and ask as many questions as you can. Because I think a lot of times people come out of school and are afraid to ask questions, but it's just so important for growth. And there's no such thing as a dumb question.
That's awesome advice. And I think that that's something everyone can relate to. I think no one tells you to like find a mentor. I feel like that's not something that you're told like early on, is like nobody tells you to find a mentor, but once you kind of find that person and it's that natural fit, you kind of are like, wow, my career would not have been the same without this one person. So I think that's awesome and something that people don't tell you enough. So it's great advice.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I touched on for Pride, just to circle back a little, we were so excited to partner with Taboola. And I just wanted to share a little snippet of how our performance was for the Pride campaign, and how you guys helped us amplify Pride through our partnership. But looking at click-through rate, we saw a 20% lift versus the campaigns that we're running concurrently. And then from a conversion rate standpoint, our conversion rates for the Pride campaign for Taboola, I think it was the second highest of all of the campaigns that we're running at the same time. So really huge success. We were super excited with the performance, and I think it only means better things to come for next year.
That's so awesome. We felt the same way, and it was really something we were just excited to work on for so many reasons. And then just the fact that it performed well was like the cherry on top of the cake, which is always something that we're so excited to hear from our partners. So that's awesome. And it was really great to work on that with you guys.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much. Your team is always great to work with. And I know my team really appreciates all of the weekly status calls and guidance and strategy optimizations, etc. So thank you guys for your continued partnership.
Yeah, and we feel the same way about you guys. So it's really synergistic, and during these crazy times, it's always nice to have partners who are aligned and who are just people we love to work with, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, I think that's everything. So thanks so much, Lauren.
Thank you. It was so nice chatting with you.
You too.